Hello! In this video, I want to tell you exactly why you're not feeling good enough and exactly what you can do to overcome this and come on top of your situation. Okay, so straight off the bat, most guys are feeling insecure simply because they're not taking any action. They're not taking any proactive action. And if you're someone who hasn't looked at much advice online before in terms of dating advice, what I tell you is, you're telling yourself things like, I wouldn't be good enough anyway, I'm too tall, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too... whatever it is, a lot of reasons why you're not good enough, and obviously that is why you feel not good enough, right? So the solution for that is to go out, do things that really suck. You have to do what sucks. You have to get out of your comfort zone, you have to do approaches, you have to do things you don't like doing, because what that's going to do is improve your confidence. And some of that feelings are not good enough, they will go. They'll literally go, okay? When you start to go out, when you start to do stuff, those insecurities will kind of melt away in a sense. Because what happens is, and what happened to me when I started going out, was that I was doing what no one else did. Well, no, none of my friends were going out and working on their social skills, and none of them else were going out to bars and like approaching really attractive girls. That freaked them the hell out, and it freaked me the hell out, but I did it anyway. And I had something that they didn't. I had the confidence and the commitment and the passion to do something they didn't. And that sounds very egotistical pride, but when you're starting this, you need some of that. You need some of that ego. You need to feed yourself. You need to get angry. You need that courage. You need to go. So in terms of feeling good enough, you have to be like, yes, whatever these things that I'm telling myself, maybe they're true, maybe they're not, but I'm going to do it anyway. You have to be proactive. And if you are not proactive, you're going to remain the same person potentially your whole life, and maybe you'll find someone, but the chances are you might have a mediocre relationship. Why? Because what tends to loop, what tends to happen in our mind, what happens in our external reality, your situation right now, it may not change. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this to motivate you. I want you to win, man. I want you to go out and kill it. That's gonna fix your feelings of not good enough. Okay, that's a beginner's advice, but we can go beyond that too. The second thing is techniques. The problem with techniques is when you use a technique, okay, it's this way. It's this way. Sorry, I'm trying to not do it backwards. Alright, so what's a technique? I used to use the hand of God. When I started getting into working on my social skills, there was this thing called the hand of God, which I learnt online. So what you do is you put your right hand to the left side, and then you grab the hand, and you can like pull. You make them do a circle, like a spin, and then you pull the girl's arm around your head. And I was like, damn, that was like cool to me. I was like, I'm gonna try this. And by the way, this is great. Like when you're just starting, do little gimmicky things like this. It'll actually make it easier. You know what's hard? The most scariest thing anyone can do is be themselves. And I don't mean be yourself as in, you could argue being yourself as, hello, how you doing? That's kind of being yourself, being vulnerable. But I mean being yourself as in like, I'm super nervous, I'm got anxiety, I'm scared right now, but I want to say hi. How are you doing? That's really being yourself, and that is what I started to do later on in my journey, and girls were blown away at the honesty. But when you're starting, that's very scary. So maybe starting with gimmicks is okay. So what that looked like for me was the hand of God, okay? But the problem there is, when you use a technique, the underlying assumption is you're not good enough without the technique, okay? Do you see that? Because when you need a technique, you're saying, in order to get the result, the girl, the number, take her home, later on, I need to do something to get that result. I'm not good enough being myself. So you put her on a pedestal, and it goes deeper than that. What happens in your subconscious mind, and this is very hard to be aware of, by the way. This is a very deep topic. There's a lot of paradoxes and there's a lot of arguments against what I'm about to say, but I want you to bear with me. You're creating a route in your subconscious mind. You need to do something in order to get the girl. So what that's telling your own mind is it needs to perform. And when you're telling your own mind you need to perform, you're creating this polarization. So, for example, if I need to use a technique to get a girl, the hand of God, I'm not good enough when I don't use the hand of God. So if I was just to walk up being myself, I'm going to be I'm going to tell myself I'm not good enough. So when I go to say hi to the girl, she's going to be like, this guy, he's got no confidence. She's going to feel that, what you feel, she feels. But really, it's just an illusion. It's all in your head. Because what I later realized in my journey, and the hand of God did work, but a couple minutes in, I didn't know what to do next. It was just a little gimmicky thing that got me into their interaction. But I had to do something next. So that was the problem, right? Sorry, I shouldn't be doing that on the camera. Yeah, so what I learned later is we can actually break down social interaction. And this links into feeling good enough and self-esteem, as I'm sure you're aware. It's not so much what's going on, the technical, the surface level, what's going on in your interaction, what you say. Although it is in some degree, you want to, of course, maybe start off with those things because you start to learn. As you start to learn, you start to open new doors. And this is what was happening to me. What I kind of started realizing was I started trying to stop using these techniques and gimmicks and started trying to just be myself, just kind of be normal. And I realized, depending on my energy, how I felt in the moment, was how the interaction went. So if I was beating myself up, going crashing and like, oh, nothing's working, it's ruined, and then I walk up to a girl and I'm in that state of needing it to work, and that was like the biggest thing, like a year in, months in, that was always happening to me. Because I was going out so much, I was like trying to work on my game so much, I really wanted to be good, that I was dependent on the outcome, okay? So what happens is you get attached to how it goes. So we put on these alpha traits, we try to be dominant, try to be alpha, whatever it is, because we want this like ideal to work out. And I'm putting up here because it's like this is the ideal and down here is not the ideal. What's not ideal is going being submissive and needy and unattractive and saying the wrong thing and saying something that isn't funny. That's not what we want. So what we try to do is we try to be really cool and alpha and all these cool things, right? So we create this polarization. And that triggers, that's the subconscious wiring going on, and why maybe you don't feel good enough if you're in a more intermediate stage. The first tip I gave was take action, but if you're someone who's already taking action, the second thing I would tell you is you want to try and drop the technical stuff. You want to try and be present and in the moment, okay? So what I would start to do is I would be honest. And this is a controversial topic because guys don't like being honest. As I said before, the scariest thing you can do is be yourself. And this is what I started to do, because I realized, I came across a source online, looked them up, called Social Prime. They have a video called Primal Honesty, How to Attract Women Being Honest, something like that, I don't know. But they said, what you can do is you can communicate instead of the surface level, the surface level technique, you can communicate what's behind that, what you're feeling. So if I'm feeling like, oh, nothing's working, it's been all night and I'm nervous, you can express that to a girl. Yes, you can express that. You can actually tell the girl, hey, look, I'm kind of in my head, I've had a rough night, and I just wanted to say hi, how you doing? That was not amazing at all. That was not amazing. But you tell the girl that, and she'll be like, no, that's okay, don't worry about it. Like, how was your night? Like, what do you mean? Like, well, why has your night been bad? What's that? That's investment in pickup. That's what we call investment, right? She'll invest in you. That you think you have to be all this alpha, cool, like guy trying to be all cool and stuff to get the good reaction and be that James Bond guy. You don't. People respect authenticity more. Like when I record these videos, the videos that go bad are the ones where I'm trying to make the video be good. They're the ones that go bad. But this one, I'm kind of learning. I'm trying to let go more. I'm just trying to be in the moment and not try too much. I know I screwed up and I had a screw up before. It was like that before, and I was like, I thought about restarting the video, but I was like, no, I'm just going to go through it. And that's authenticity, because people relate to flaws. What's not relatable is the perfect James Bond robotic guy that never makes a mistake. And it's not natural either. It's not real. You can't. That's not possible. Authenticity is possible though, it's real. Humans are not perfect. This brain, it's not perfect at all. So authenticity, drop it. What you can do is communicate what's behind the technique. And this not good enough feeling, it'll cut it, okay? You can cut it. Like, taking action, good, and then drop the techniques, bro, you're flying, okay? So, so I mentioned the polarization before, right? What happens is when you've got to be alpha, dominant, fronts, trying to be cool for the reaction, is you want this to work, is when it's not going well, when you're not being that guy, when you're getting not the results, your state crashes, it goes down, it gets worse. And now you're self-hating. But what happens when you communicate the self-hate? Hey, look, I feel horrible right now. Look, I haven't had a good night. I got rejected before. You tell a girl that, it's funny. She'll be like, what do you mean? And she likes your authenticity. You know when girls test you, it's because they're testing you to see if you're authentic, if you're real. And we have to overcome the test and say the right thing. No, you just have to be real, okay? When I realized this, I was like, damn, I'm never going to fail a test ever again because I can just be real. And what happens is when you are willing to express this shitty part that you're neglecting, you're accepting your whole personality. And what happens when you accept your whole personality? You feel good enough. Do you see that? So, when you're able to express not feeling good enough, I don't feel like I'm alpha right now, I don't feel cool, it's funny, okay? No one says that. Of course, don't say it from a needy place like you need them to like you because you said it. Say it because it's just on your mind. Don't try, the problem, you have to set your own boundaries. Stop trying to cling onto the reaction. And if you find yourself doing that, you can say that too, but do try to have a boundary, alright? But understand, if you're willing to be vulnerable, which is what everyone wants, everyone just loves authenticity, that part of you that you're neglecting will melt away. And what you'll find is, when you do this, you realize confidence isn't something you build up to, that you accumulate all these techniques and things. It's actually something you already were. And what I mean by that is, when you drop the need to be some sort of way to appeal to someone, you'll realize that you're confident the whole time, but you didn't realize it. You're just telling yourself you need to be some personality type, okay? You'll realize that you're already confident. You were just telling yourself you had to be this person, which is not the truth. And that's the problem with pickup conditioning and a lot of stuff online, is they tell you all these things. You have to be the best, alpha, confident, not needy, and it's like, it's too much. Let go, okay? So that's my advice, and that's how you destroy the feeling of not good enough, feeling good enough. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Goodbye.